Hello, everyone, and welcome back. A message to those from a poor background. Richard Mortel Logner is an Austrian entrepreneur in the construction industry, a Viennese society figure, and a former political candidate who changed the trajectory of his background by rising from poverty to affluence. Richard Lochner was born on the 11th of October 1932 in Viennese Austria to low-income earners. Richard's father was a construction worker who earned a living by doing the hefty lifting at construction sites, while his mother was a petty trader. Richard's childhood was rife with deprivation. Food was hardly enough, clothing were a luxury, and they lived in a house without adequate ventilation and a short supply of running water and electricity. Yet, despite their standards of living, his parents were honest, hard-working people who instilled in him the importance of diligence and perseverance. During his teenage years, Richard became a handyman. He was practical and could fix many issues in homes. His skills ranged from carpentry to plumbing. His skills assisted the family's income, and because of his attention to details, Richard earned a reputation as the best of all handymen within his community. The financial condition of Richard's family gave him cause to worry. He had hoped for a better life than what his parents gave him, and in the same vein wanted his children not to experience the artistries associated with deprivation. Richard enrolled in the public school but was not particularly bright, owing to the fact that he was more invested in alleviating the state of things in his home than his academics. Yet, Richard was able to pass the entrance examination into the university. University was another hurdle, what with Richard's family's resources already stretched thin. But Richard was determined. He took on the Herculean task of dividing his time between his studies and more freelance jobs as a handyman. It wasn't rosy all through his days in the university. There were several low moments. Richard took all those low moments in stride and was able to concentrate and pass his final examinations. Things took a turn for the worse after graduation. There was a dearth of employment options, and Richard didn't have the luxury of time to browse through the labor market in search of a suitable job for him. He took on many odd jobs and also continued to carry out his profession as a handyman. Richard soon found a stable job in a construction company. While working at the company, Richard tried to learn the ropes of the business. Growing up with his father, he was a construction worker. It made it easy for him to learn fast. It kind of fell within his expertise. A few years later down the line, Richard grew tired of the cyclical monotony of being in the employ of a company and started thinking of entrepreneurship. Richard quit his job when the desire to make a meaning out of his life outweighed any misgivings he had. He started a small construction company that specialized in the erection of filling stations and the renovation of old buildings. His company started to prosper shortly, gaining popularity amongst the locals, so much that he became known to a wider public. His fortunes changed when he completed the first Viennese mosque in 1979. He has diversified ever since then, opening shopping malls and an advertising company. A poor background has the capacity to make things more difficult for an individual. This fact undisputed does not mean that coming from a poor background sentences one to a life of poverty. Most successful and wealthy people from all over the world today came from nothing. This is an important lesson for everyone who sees their background as a hindrance to achieving their goals in life. We all have in us the ability to make our lives exactly what we want them to be. The only thing that stops us from achieving our dreams is our attitude towards those dreams. Jim Rohn said, "No matter their financial condition, successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. This is what distinguishes them." The actions you chose to take determine your success. The actions you choose determine whether or not you are successful, whether you will be successful if you have the mindset of success, regardless of your background. Winston Churchill said, "The only ammunition with which successful people face the world is not their background, but their character." Your attitude towards your dreams is more important than your family's finances. So go out there and make your dreams happen. You can do it. Thank you for watching our video. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Click on the notification button, that little bell icon. Share our videos. Don't hesitate to comment. And remember, we love you. Thank you for watching. See you next time.